What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Foosgetcleantoo podcast. We show that change is possible, whether you're struggling with addiction, incarceration, or living that street life. So I just wanted to come on really quick and let anyone know that's struggling, man, that you could do it, man, that don't give up, that change is possible, and fools do get clean too, right? I know sometimes life kicks you in the balls and just like you get hopeless and feel like there's no way out, right? But just know that people are here and people will help. You know what I mean? And you just gotta want it. You know, now whatever it is, whether it's staying out of prison or stop living that street life or addiction, right? And for me, speaking from my personal experience, like everything's intertwined, right? So the street life, putting in the work, getting the hustle, doing the licks, addiction, doing the drugs, numbing, partying, getting incarcerated because of those two. You know, it's all intertwined, right? And if you want something different, you got to do different. I know for myself, that was probably one of the hardest things to do, right? Is to do something different, you know, because that's all I knew, you know, and getting uncomfortable is a part of change, right? And learning new things, it's different, and the fear of the unknown, you know what I mean? And the what ifs set in, you know, and we just gotta remember that your higher power has a plan for you, right? And it's not to be a drug addict or sitting in prison or hurting people or committing crime. You know, say all that to say this, right? That if you want something different, like you're gonna have to put in some work, right? But it's gonna be well worth it, you know. And it's a lot easy just to submit and to get loaded or to get drunk and just like fuck it. You know what I mean? It's a lot easier to do that, right? And it's a lot harder to put in the work into change, right? Whether it's 12 step or any other self-help group that's going to help you be a better person, right? Whether it's church, whether it's whatever it is, right? But as long as you're moving to be a better person, that's all that matters, you know, because I don't know about you, but I wasted a lot of my years away from my family, right? My grandparents all passed away when I was locked up. I wasn't able to say my goodbyes, right? My uncle, my aunt, I grew up with when I was little. Uh, I'm just glad that I was out here. My mom passed away, right? I had 6 years clean, you know, and I was able to help with the services and able to help with the reception afterwards, right? Because if I was using, better believe I probably wouldn't even showed up out of guilt, you know what I mean, or not being able to have money to get there, not having clothes to wear to a funeral, you know what I mean. But I'm just lucky that I was able to do that, right? And I remember I was kicking myself in the ass for a few months after my mom passed away, right? Wishing I wouldn't have been just a piece of shit son for all those years, right? Wishing I wasn't using drugs or getting incarcerated for 20 years before she passed, right? But my mom got what she wanted before she passed away, right? She got her son back for the last 6 years of her life, you know, and God had a plan for me, you know what I'm saying? And I had to go through some stuff because of the choices that I made, right? But at the end of the day, um, it it made me the man who I am today, and I appreciate the life out here I have so much more because of what I went through. Right, being stuck in the shoe programs or in the hole or full of pepper spray on the yard, hogtied for hours, or worrying about getting stabbed at level 4 during a riot, or worrying about riots, or having to get off on somebody when the door cracked, or having to stab someone. You know what I mean? And in the moment, like we do what we have to do, right? But those were situations because of choices that I made, right? So I made the conscious decision to have a better life, right? And it's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort. It's going to take some pain. It's going to take some blood, sweat, and tears. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you, it's a much better life than what you once lived. You know, and I don't have everything that I want, but I have everything that I need, right? And my higher power didn't bring me this long just to drop me, right? He has a plan for me, and he has a plan for you. You know, it's just how bad do you want it. You know what I mean? And anyone could throw in the towel and just say fuck it. You know what I mean? But it takes a real man or a real woman to put in the work and to fight for your kids, fight for your freedom, fight for your sanity, fight for your spending your time with your mother, your father, your sisters, your nieces, your nephews. You know? And for those of you struggling out there, just know that it's going to get better. You know, you just got to keep pushing forward, man. And if you slip, pick yourself back up and try it again, bro. Like it I, I was out there strung out for like 25 years, right? I probably legit tried to get clean like 3 times. You know, like actually thought about it and actually did some stuff, right? But I would only do half measures, right? And that avails us nothing. You know what I mean? So if you really want it, you got to be all in. You know what I mean? And like I said, you're gonna get uncomfortable. You might not like to do some of the things you got to do, right? But at the end of the day, the it's worth it. You know, and I just want to let you guys know that you're not alone out there. If you guys ever want to reach out to me for anything, Foosgetcleantoo on Instagram, the same on TikTok. DM me. Need resources for meetings or for treatment, or just want to chop it up, or if you want to share your story with me, you know, and I'm here, you know, and just know you're not alone. You know what I mean? And remember, change is possible. You know, if you want to get signed up for college, if you're in the Orange County area, Cypress College, I got you. Don't trip. Because knowledge is power. You know what I mean? And when we get clean, we're capable of doing powerful stuff. You know, and just know that we shouldn't settle for the bottom. You know what I mean? And and I heard on a podcast recently that dope fiends are the only, or drug addicts are the only people that could wake up with nothing, no money, no dope, no place to sleep, right? And by 12 o'clock, have dope, have a room, have cigarettes, have the jumbo jack with cheese. You know what I'm saying? So we make shit happen. You know what I mean? And just use those power for good now. You know what I mean? Like all that effort you put into getting the sack, or coming up in that feria, or turning that trick. You know what I mean? Put it to positive. You know what I mean? Put it to change. You know, for the better. You know what I mean? And for those of you who have kids out there, man, like it's never too late to show that you care. You know what I mean? And I'm sure that your kids want their dad or the mom back. You know what I'm saying? And if they don't right now, then at least you can show that you're trying. You know, and don't let that deter you. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, like we have to live with the decisions we make, right? Whether good or bad. You know, and I'm choosing to do better now. You know, and like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm far from perfect, right? But my goal is to be a better person each day. And remember, redemption. Foosgetcleantoo. What's your comeback story?